Law Enforcement and the Use of Force by Anahi Duran. The criminal justice problem that I'll be talking about is use of force. Use of force has been a controversial topic due to events within law enforcement. Even though use of force has been occurring since the beginning of policing, due to social media like Facebook and YouTube and electronic devices, it has been noticed. An example of law enforcement and use of force is of Eric Garner. Eric Garner, a 43-year-old, was lumbering along a sidewalk on Staten Island, July 17, 2014, when an unmarked police car pulled up. Police officers knew Eric Garner for selling on-tax cigarettes. When law enforcement encountered Garner, he refused to be detained and frisked. That is when officers decided to take action. One of the officers put his arm around Garner's neck and put him down to the floor. Garner later claimed he was not able to breathe. Eric Garner died hours later that day due to the compression of the neck and chest. Many similar events have occurred throughout the U.S. as what happened to Eric Garner, bringing up the problem of law enforcement and the use of force. So how can this problem be solved? To solve such problems, some variables should be looked at within law enforcement: hiring criteria, age, experience, education, and training of law enforcement officers. Here in the procedures and evaluation phase, I developed a plan that consists of week 5 through 8 and specifying what will be completed within that week in regards to investigation. For week 5, the plan consisted of determining the definition of use of force and the types of force, and the use of force model, which contains the risk perception categories, subject action categories, and officer response categories. In week 6, the plan was to focus on variables that affect law enforcement officers in regards to use of force, variables such as education, training, age, experience, and hiring criteria. In week 7 consisted on mainly focusing on education and training. Are there any programs provided? And if law enforcement officers are given any training? Week 8 focused on the hiring criteria among agencies. What are they looking for among candidates? Evaluations. This project should be evaluated as a possible solution to reduce excessive use of force within law enforcement officers, in which it will benefit law enforcement agencies and the community by fixing bad behaviors of officers. During the investigation phase, information of hiring criteria, age, experience, education, and training were obtained. In hiring criteria, law enforcement agencies throughout the U.S. focus on minimum standards such as applicant being U.S. citizen, having a high school diploma or GED, and a clean criminal record. But throughout investigation, it was determined that if law enforcement agencies were to focus more on education and/or experience, the candidate will possess qualities and traits that will make him or her a better officer. Qualities that education and experience give individuals are life experience and maturity, empathy, communication skills, mental clarity, good judgment, integrity, respect for authority, confidence, and support for equal opportunity. Age and experience form part of the hiring criteria in which it should be considered. Age and the years of experience are relevant to each other. For example, the older the candidate is, the more experience he or she has. In Charles Frank's research, he claimed that officers are less likely to use restraining hold and a firearm than officers with few years of experience. Education forms a great part of the investigation in regards to law enforcement and the use of force. Education and continuing education has many benefits within officers and how they respond in any situation. Benefits that education and training provide are better decision-making skills, active thinking skills, ability to acquire and impart information, draw inferences, comprehensive thinking, problem-solving skills, and diversity professional discretion. As well with continuing education, it reduces misbehavior of law enforcement officers and allows them to grow professionally. As Beth Sanborn said, look at the cost of higher education as preventive, positive training to avoid the cost of negative. A possible solution for the use of force problem will be for law enforcement agencies to choose candidates by their skills, qualities, education, experience, and deselecting candidates that may present a problem. Encourage and help officers to continue education and continue training officers throughout their career. Training that emphasizes on non-physical and physical skills, stress management, and the use of force in any situation.